U.S. President Joe Biden is expected to launch his bid for re-election as early as this week, according to the Washington Post and other sources familiar with the matter. Biden has said he intends on running for a second term, but has held off on making the formal announcement. At 80 years old, Mr. Biden is already the oldest president in American history, and by the end of a potential renewed term, he'd be 86. This has been a concern among Democrats. The New York Times editorial board even coming out this week, highlighting the age factor as a, quote, legitimate concern. Currently, about half of all Democrats and 70% of Americans overall say they don't want Biden to run. Despite that reality, a majority of Dems say they will still support Biden if push comes to shove. That's based on polling from NBC and the Associated Press. Right now, Biden sits at about a 42% approval rating, a rating somewhat comparable to past presidents Jimmy Carter and Donald Trump, who went on to lose their re-election bids. However, approval ratings are not necessarily predictions of a re-election loss. Ronald Reagan and Barack Obama both at times had approval ratings trending in the 40s, but went on to win their second bids for the presidency. It's also important to note approval ratings can change drastically between now and Election Day as the U.S. responds to the economy, the war in Ukraine, and various other issues. When President Biden confirms his bid for re-election, he will share the Democratic field with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Marianne Williamson, both of whom announced their bids for the White House this year. This update is brought to you by Straight Arrow News. If you want more coverage heading into the next U.S. election cycle, head over to straightarrownews.com.